What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Alan Spidey, here to talk with you once again. Wrestling related content. The last time I did wrestling related content, I talked about my top 5 best looking championship belt designs in professional wrestling. And this time I want to talk about, in my opinion, the ugliest 5 championship belt designs in professional wrestling. And maybe I'll even throw in some honorable mentions. So without further ado, let's get to it. Coming in at number 5 is the Edge Rated R Superstar Spinner Championship Belt. This one was introduced to Edge after Lita threw John Cena's Spinner Championship Belt into the river. And this one was debuted by Edge on an episode of Raw, I think. And this thing was butt ugly. I was not the biggest fan of John Cena's Spinner Belt. Truth be told, though, I did not hate it because it fit the character of Cena perfectly. So, for that simple fact, I did not hate John Cena's Spinner Belt. Not as much as everybody else does. And in fact, I believe that championship is starting to grow on people now that Cena's down to his final year of professional wrestling. But me personally, I never thought it was awful. However, the Rated R Spinner Belt, this thing was ugly as hell. I mean, the center plate to me just looked like a damn decal sticker. The minute I saw this on TV, I was like, no. It's like, come up with a better design. I guess they showed like a design that Edge drew up himself, which a lot of people think looked a lot better than the spinner belt. And yeah, I kind of got to agree there. But even the one that Edge drew up, I thought that was kind of ugly too. It didn't look like a world championship at all. It looked more like an intercontinental championship in my opinion. So at number 5, I got to say the Rated R Spinner Championship Belt. Coming in at number 4 is the WWE Divas Championship Belt. That ugly ass butterfly. What more can I say? I'm already not the biggest fan of silver championship belts, but this thing, it was a silver championship belt. It had some pink or purple. I don't really know. I didn't look at it too much because the damn thing was ugly. And it didn't really even, it didn't even feel like a championship in my opinion. It just felt like a damn Barbie accessory. This championship really didn't look good on anybody. I didn't like how it looked on Mickie James. I didn't like how it looked on Nikki Bella. I don't think I was a fan of, I might have been a fan of some of the champions because, I mean, you know, Charlotte Flair had it before they got the whole women's revolution thing going. So there was that. I mean, you had good wrestlers with it. Like, you know, said Mickie James had it. Let's see. Alicia Fox, who probably wasn't the best wrestler at the time, but I mean, I'm a fan of her work now. They've all had this championship, but it really didn't look good on anybody. I mean, Michelle McCool, she was a decent worker. I'm not a fan of her, but she was a decent worker. This championship belt, though, it didn't do any favors for the champion. It just, in my opinion, it didn't fit in. So coming in at number 4, I got to say the WWE Divas Championship. Number 3, I hate to do this. I got to say the Fiend Championship. Why couldn't they just keep the Fiend with the Red Universal Championship? I mean, I get he got drafted to SmackDown, but I really don't think that was necessary. You should have just left Brock Lesnar over there and let the Fiend rock the Red Universal Championship belt. Because even though I'm not a fan of that championship belt either, it did go with the Fiend. The Fiend had the red lighting and all that. Same deal with Finn Balor. On certain people, that Red Universal Championship actually looked good, especially with the Fiend's side plates. The Blue Universal Championship was nice, but it didn't match the Fiend's gear. But when he came out with this championship belt, and I've actually heard that Tom Savini created the design of this belt, it didn't look like a championship belt at all. I mean, it didn't look like a toy, but it didn't look like anything that belonged on a professional wrestler. So I got to put this one up there in my least favorite designs. This is a replica. You know, as much as I love the Fiend, I will not purchase this replica. If anything, I would do the Red Universal Championship belt and I would pick up the Fiend's side plates. Oh, number 2 is going to be a tough choice. Let's see. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to have to say that hideous looking New York Hardcore Championship, I think that's what they called it, that Tommy Dreamer carried around. That thing was butt ugly. This was actually just a New York license plate with barbed wire. And it was, I don't know if it was taped or what, it was put over the European Championship belt. What about that speaks hardcore? Now I get it. The Hardcore Championship they had was beat up and all that, but it fit the gimmick. When I saw Tommy Dreamer show up with this thing on television, I just looked at it and I'm like, what in the hell is that? Not a Hardcore Championship, and definitely not a championship I would have wanted to win. See if I can think of some honorable mentions here. I guess the Red Universal Championship speaks for itself. The damn thing looked like a fruit roll-up or a licorice championship belt. But at the same time, it did look good on some wrestlers. It looked good on The Fiend, and it looked good on Finn Balor. I don't remember it looking too bad on Brock Lesnar, but it didn't look great on him either. I didn't like how it looked on Seth Rollins. See who else had it. Didn't like how it looked on Kevin Owens. All in all, it just wasn't a good-looking championship, and it was a lazy design. It was the same thing with just a different color. See, another honorable mention. The WWF Hardcore Championship, I guess. But the thing about that is it was supposed to be ugly. It was supposed to be beat up. Now, I actually thought this championship was the one that Mr. Perfect broke with the hammer, and then they just taped it back up. But apparently, none of that was ever true. The first time I saw that championship, that's what I thought, though. I thought maybe they'd broken up a toy belt or something at first, too. You know, as time got on, I started to like it just because of the concept. I never liked the design because it was a smashed-up championship. Nothing I'd ever carry around proudly. So I got to give a mention to the WWF Hardcore Championship. Let's see here. Oh, those damn Tag Team Championship belts that look like pennies. What more can I say? It's basically these championships here, except they were on a black strap, and the color of the center and side plates was the same color as a penny. It was copper. These things were butt ugly. Another set of belts that just did not look good on anybody that had them. Do I have any more honorable mentions here? Oh, the Daniel Bryan Eco-Friendly Championship belt. I don't care what anybody says. I did not like this championship. Did it fit his gimmick? Yes. Was it still an ugly-ass championship? Hell yeah. Not one I would ever buy a replica of. Not to mention I wasn't a fan of Daniel Bryan anyway, but I did not like this thing. I was so glad when Kofi Kingston beat him for the title and it went back to the regular one. With that being said, we're going to get down to the number one pick. The ugliest championship belt, in my opinion, in WWE, is the 24/7 championship. The only part of this championship, at least in the center plate that had any color, was the 24 and the 7 in green. And the strap was green. The rest of it was just gold, and you couldn't read anything else but the 24 and the 7. This thing was ugly. And this was their way of kind of bringing back the hardcore division, which is what they should have just did. They should have just brought back the hardcore one and made like another hardcore belt. You know, they probably could have just used the hardcore championship belt that Travis Scott had. At least that design was decent. But this thing, 24/7 championship, no. I don't care who had this freaking championship belt. It didn't look good on nobody. And no matter who had it, they just looked like an idiot. That thing was so ugly that, you know how they got rid of this championship? The last champion was Nikki Cross. And on an episode of Raw, she dumped that sucker in the garbage. Or attempted to, I should say. She missed the garbage can when she tried to throw it in. Even the garbage can said, I don't want that hideous looking belt. So I mean, what more can I say? The 24/7 championship, that thing was hideous. And in my opinion, it is the worst championship belt design that I have ever seen. At least in WWE. So there you have it, folks. Those are my picks for the ugliest championship belt designs in professional wrestling. Do you agree with my picks? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, give me a like and please subscribe. I'll catch you on the next video.